Welcome to the next sentence analysis lesson. Okay, this is where I think it starts to get a lot of fun. It's a little more complicated, but not too much, but you can start to see how sentences really fit together. We're gonna really use this lesson to build, to help us build on more complex sentences later. So let's start out with a sentence that's a little more complicated than the ones we did in the last lesson. And here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna do Thomas eats fruit. Okay, pretty simple sentence, right? Nothing complex. Now let's break this up. Okay, I can break this up in two places. I can have Thomas, right? Let's get rid of that, Thomas. And eats is going to be my action. And then we have something else here, okay? Now, let's do what we did in the last lesson. Let's find what the action is, okay? I'm gonna move these off to the side. So our action is eats, okay? What is Thomas doing? He eats. So I'll put this down. Who is it that eats? Well, it's Thomas, right? Thomas. Now we have something left, okay? And we have a new question. Whom or what? So let's do this. Who is it that eats? Whom or what? Thomas eats what? Thomas eats fruit. Okay, so we'll place this here. This fruit. Okay, I hope you guys can see that. Let me take a look to make sure you can see it on there. Okay, perfect. Okay, so let's take a look. What is the action? Our predicate is eats. Okay, who is it that? Our subject, Thomas eats. Now here's our new one, okay? This is what is being acted upon. The action is taking place on fruit, which is our direct object, okay? Now, I'm hoping we can do a lot of follow-up on this. Let's do one more just so we have a little bit more practice, okay? I'm gonna set this back up like this, okay? Now, let's do, how about plants love light, okay? Plants love light, okay? Plants love light. It's a little bit different because it's not a person, right? I chose plants for a reason. So let's break this apart. Now, we'll break it off right here. Plants, and our action is going to be what? It's going to be love, right? Okay, so let's do this. Let's get these out of the way. Now, our action is love, okay? Love. Now, who is it that love? Well, is plant a who? No. What is it that love? Plants love, okay? So let's place it like this. Now, what are we left with? Whom or what? Plants love what? Well, they love light. Okay, there we go. Now, let's take a look here. Here's our predicate. Okay, our action, love. Plants is our subject. Light is our direct object. So, those are two sample sentences. Let me show you how you can do follow-up, because once again, you don't have these materials at home, and so it's going to be a little more difficult, but that doesn't mean you can't draw it. Now, let's start with a sentence like, people eat food, okay? People eat food. Now, there's our sentence, and you can write it just on the top like this, okay? Now, I'm going to go ahead and get my red predicate, or my action, okay? I'll make a nice circle here. Now, you can do it two ways. You can either put the word down here. Our action is eat, right? So I can either write eat down here, or if you want to get fancy, you can do something like this. Okay, you can put eat inside, and then maybe shade it like this. I think it looks kind of cool. Okay, now, the next thing we're gonna ask is, well, let's ask ourselves the question, who is it that eat? Well, it's people, okay? So I'm gonna make this one a little bit simpler, okay? I'm gonna draw my arrow, okay, like this, and I'll draw my circle. Now, because the circle is gonna be a little bit smaller, you might wanna put your people off to the side. Now, if you wanna make it really big, you can, so that you can fit all the words inside. I'm not gonna try and write upside down right now. So here we go, people. We're gonna add people down here, okay? Now, if you want to get even fancier, this might actually be a good thing to do. Well, let's do this at the end. Let's do the next one. Now the next question is, people eat whom or what? Whom or what? Well, they eat, oh, where did it go? Oh, they eat food, okay? So let's draw our little arrow over here, like this, and we'll get a smaller, okay? Now this one's gonna be a little bit smaller, and what do they eat? Well, they eat food. So let's add food, okay? Food. There we go. Now, what you can do at the end here is you can actually label the different parts, okay? So let's label this as predicate, okay? Okay, here is my predicate, and this is going to be my subject. All right, subject. Okay, subject. And this is going to be my direct object. Okay. And what you can do is you can circle them or make them in a different color or find some way to get them to stand out. But this is a really good way to do follow-up. And I want you guys to practice this because the next lesson, the lesson after this, is actually one of my favorite lessons. It's called adverbial extensions. It's gonna get really complicated. Like there's gonna be stuff going all over the place. So I wanna get really good at the simple ones like this. Okay, I wanna see a lot of follow-up work on this, guys. Thanks.